Hello students, myself Srimati Bhosle SS from MJS College Srigonda, and we will be studying like chapter number 9 coordination compounds. This is the second lecture, and in this lecture we will be covering the topics terms used in coordination chemistry and classification of complexes. So let's begin with the terms used in coordination chemistry. The first term is the coordination sphere. Now central metal and the ligands linked to it are written or they are enclosed in a square bracket, and this square bracket is also known as the coordination sphere. If the square bracket is carrying some charge, whether a positive charge or a negative charge, if it is carrying some charge, then the square bracket is called as a complex ion. The ionizable groups are written outside the brackets and they are called as counter ions. That is, the molecules or ions which are not attached to the central metal atom through coordinate bond, they are written the outside the square bracket. Let's understand it with the help of example. Potassium ferrocyanide K4FeCN6. Now with this dissociates as 4K plus and FeCN6 with charge 4 minus. Now this FeCN6, the whole is written in a square bracket with charge of negative 4 negative, 4 minus negative charge. Now this is called as the coordination sphere. Here the cyanide ions are attached to the central metal atom through coordinate bond. So they are written in a square bracket, and this is called as the coordination sphere. While the potassium ions, they are not attached to the central metal atom through coordinate bond, and they are ionizable, and hence they are written outside the square bracket. These potassium ions are also called as counter ions. Moving on to the next term, that is charge number of complex ion and oxidation state of metal ion. Now the net charge on the complex ion is the charge number. So charge number is nothing but the charge which is carried by the complex ion. And this charge number is calculated by adding the sum of the charges carried by the metal atom and the ligands. So this charge number, it is the sum of the charge carried by the metal and the charge carried by the ligands. Now we know the charge carried by the metal atom is nothing but its oxidation state, and this oxidation state can be used to calculate the charge number of the complex ion also. Let's understand with the help of an example over here, that is FeCN6 4 minus, having the charge 4 minus. Now the charge on this complex is minus 4. As we have said, charge number is nothing but sum of the oxidation state of the metal. Now metal over here is Fe. So charge number of this complex is oxidation state of Fe plus charge of the ligands. Ligands over here are 6 molecules of cyanide. So we can write minus 4 as the charge number. We don't know the oxidation state of Fe. And the charge of ligands, there are 6 cyanide ligands and each cyanide ligand is carrying a negative charge. So 6 into minus 1, that is minus 6. So calculating oxidation state of Fe is minus 4 plus 6, that comes out to be plus 2. So in this complex ion, the oxidation state of the Fe is plus 2. Similarly, if oxidation state of the metal is given and you know the charge of the ligands, you can calculate the charge number of the complex ion also. Now moving on to the next term, that is the coordination number of the central metal atom. Coordination number of a central metal atom in a complex is the number of ligand donor atoms directly attached to it or number of electron pairs involved in the coordinate bond. Let's understand it with the help of example. Here the first example is cobalt with 4 molecules of ammonia and 2 ions of chlorine, that is CONH34Cl2 with the charge 3 plus. Now here cobalt is a central metal atom and it is attached to 4 ammonia molecules and 2 chloride ions. So total number of ligands attached to this cobalt is 6. And we know that both ammonia and chloride are monodentate ligand, that is they will donate a pair of electron each. So they will donate 6 pair of electrons to the cobalt, and therefore coordination number of cobalt in this complex is 6. Now moving on to the next example, that is FeC2O4 thrice with a charge 3 minus. Now here the oxalate ion is a ligand, and we know that oxalate is a bidentate ligand. If you write the structure of oxalate, you know this is the structure of oxalate. This is the structure of oxalate, and we know these are the two oxygen which act as donor atoms in this oxalate molecule. So one oxalate molecule has two oxygen donor atoms. So it is a bidentate ligand. Now there Fe is attached to three oxalate molecules. That means there will be 6 donor atoms. Number of ligands attached is 3, but the donor atoms is equal to 6 because each oxalate is having 2 donor oxygen atoms. So number of electron pairs shared will be 6. Therefore coordination number of Fe in this complex is 6. Hence we can say that coordination number of metal in the complex is nothing but the number of ligand donor atoms directly attached to it, or number of electron pairs involved in the coordinate bond. If the ligands are monodentate, it is written as simply it is written as counting the number of ligands, you write the coordination number of the metal. But if the ligands are not monodentate, you count the number of donor atoms in the ligand, and accordingly you write the coordination number of the metal. Now moving to the next terms, that is double salt and coordination complex. Now both double salts and coordination compounds are molecular or addition compounds which are formed by combination of two or more salts in a stoichiometric ratio. But they differ in one term, that is they differ in their ionization behavior in the aqueous solution. So let's understand double salt. Now double salts, if you dissociate in water, it dissociate completely given you simple ions. That is, it gives in water, if you dissolve the double salt, each individual ions can be obtained. For example, Mohs salt, the chemical formula for Mohs salt is FeSO4 NH4 twice SO4 with 6 molecules of water. If we dissociate in water, you get 1 ion of Fe2 plus, 2 ions of NH4 plus, and 2 ions of SO4 2 minus. Now if you count the number of ions, 1 molecule of Mohs salt gives you 1 ion of Fe2 plus, 2 of NH4 plus, and 2 of SO4 2 minus. So total number of ions given is 5. So if what is the difference between double salt and coordination complex? The double salts dissociates giving you test for individual ions. That is, Mohs salt, if you dissolve in water, it will give test for Fe2 plus, NH4 plus, and SO4 2 minus. Individual test it will give. Now moving to the next, that is coordination complex. Coordination complex dissociates in water with at least one complex ion. Let's understand it with the help of example, potassium ferrocyanate K4FeCN6. Now if you dissociate this complex in water, you get 4K plus ion and 1 FeCN6 ion carrying a negative charge of 4. Now this we have seen, this is counter ion. Now here you get 4 ions of potassium and 1 complex ion of this whole complex. So total number of ions given is 5. Now here you don't get individual ions of Fe and CN6 because your cyanide are the ligands which are attached to the Fe through our coordinate bond. So it will not dissociate in water. It will dissociate completely as a one single complex ion. While potassium which are attached to this complex through they are not attached to coordinate bonds, so they will easily ionize, giving you 4 different potassium ions. Okay, so this is the basic difference between your double salt and coordination complex. Here you don't get individual test for Fe and Cn in the coordination complex. Now moving to the next point, that is Werner theory of coordination compounds. Now Werner was the first scientist who attended first made the attempt to study the coordination compound, and he put forth his study in terms of some postulates. So let's study those postulates. The first postulate was that metal in the complex have two types of valencies. First is the primary valency and second is the secondary valency. Primary valency is also called as the ionizable valency and the secondary valency is also called as the non-ionizable valency. The next postulate was the ionizable sphere has entities, that is anions, which satisfy primary valency of the metal. So the ionizable sphere, which is containing your primary valency, which is satisfied by the primary valency of the metal, it mostly contains anions. Okay, so primary valency of the metal is satisfied by the generally by the anions. Next postulate is secondary coordination sphere consists of anions or neutral ligands which satisfy the secondary valency and are non-ionizable. As we have said that secondary valency is non-ionizable, that is they do not ionize, and mostly this valency is satisfied by anions as well as some neutral ligands. The number of secondary valency is fixed for a given metal and it is nothing but equal to the coordination number of that metal. So the coordination number of the metal is nothing but the secondary valency of that metal. Next postulate is secondary valencies have spatial arrangement around the metal. Now this secondary valencies, they gave a directional property to the metal complex due to which the metal has some definite shape. Complex with coordination number 6 has octahedral structure, while complex with coordination number 4 has tetrahedral or square planar structure. Now the complex in which your metal is surrounded by 6 ligands, that complex will have octahedral structure, and if the complex in which your central metal atom is surrounded by 4 ligands, it can have tetrahedral or square planar structure. So the ligands attached to the central metal atom are nothing but your secondary valencies, and due to which it gives a definite structure to your complex. Let's understand with the help of example over here. Cobalt example I have taken over here. Cobalt, NH3, 6 molecules of ammonia and 3 ions of chloride. Now here if you observe the structure of this cobalt complex, here all 6 ammonia molecules are attached to the cobalt through coordinate bond and they come in the coordination sphere, that is they satisfy the secondary valency of your cobalt metal ion in this complex, while the 3 chloride ions, they are ionizable and they are written outside the square bracket, so they satisfy your primary valency. Okay, so since 6 ligands are attached to the cobalt, the coordination number of cobalt in this is 6. In this complex it is 6 and it is having the octahedral structure. This complex is having the octahedral structure. Now let's understand with the help of an example. 1 mole of a green colored complex of CuCl3 and NH3 on treatment with excess of AgNO3 produces 1 mole of AgCl. What is the formula of the complex? Given is the coordination number of cobalt is 6. Now 1 mole of green colored complex of cobalt chloride and ammonia is treated with AgNO3. You don't know the structure of this complex which is green colored. So when it is treated with 1 mole of AgNO3, you get 1 mole of AgCl and find the we have to find the structure of that complex. Now it's very easy here. Since you are getting 1 mole of AgCl, so which chloride will react with the AgNO3? The ionizable chloride will react with the AgNO3. Since only 1 mole of AgCl is obtained, so only one chloride is there which is ionizable. Now here coordination number of cobalt is 6. So if out of 3, 1 chloride is ionizable, remaining 2 must be bonded with the cobalt through coordinate bond. And coordination number of cobalt is 6, that means it must be attached to 6 ligands. So out of 6 ligands, 2 is occupied by chlorine, and so remaining 4 will be occupied by the ammonia. So structure of this complex can be written as cobalt NH3 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 N2 chloride. Now since it is giving only 1 mole of AgCl, that is the out of 3 chloride, 1 chloride is outside the square bracket, that it is ionizable. And since the coordination number of cobalt is 6, it will have octahedral structure. Now moving on to the next point, that is classification of complexes. Now complexes can be classified based on two types, that is on types of ligands and on the type of charge which the complex is carrying. So first study the classification of complex based on the types of ligands. There are now here two type of classification is there, homoleptic and heteroleptic complexes. Homoleptic complexes, as the name suggests, homo means same. So this type of complexes are those complexes where only one type of ligand is attached to the central metal atom. For example, CONH36 carrying charge 3 plus. So here your cobalt is surrounded by 6 ammonia ligands, and all the ligands are of same type, that is they are of ammonia. So this complex is nothing but homoleptic complex. Next is heteroleptic complex. Heteroleptic complexes are those complexes where more than one type of ligand surround the central metal ion. For example, cobalt NH3, 4 molecules of ammonia and 2 of chloride. The complex is carrying plus charge. Now here cobalt is attached to 4 molecules of ammonia and 2 of chloride ions. Since there are two types of different ligands attached to this complex, so this complex comes under the category of heteroleptic complexes. Moving on to the next type, that is on the classification on the basis of the charge on the complex. Now this classification, there are three types: cationic sphere complexes, anionic sphere complexes and neutral sphere complexes. Now first let's study what is cationic sphere complexes. Complexes having positively charged coordination sphere. So complexes where the coordination sphere is carrying a positive charge are called as cationic sphere complexes. For example, ZnNH3 4 with charge, whole complex is carrying +2 charge. So this coordination sphere is carrying positive charge, so it is a cationic sphere complexes. Next example is CONH3 5Cl and SO4. So here sulfate is ionizable group, while the 5 molecules of ammonia and chloride ion, it is bonded to the cobalt through coordinate bond. So coordination sphere is carrying +2 charge. Since the coordination sphere is carrying a positive charge, this complex is called as cationic sphere complex. Although the complex is neutral because this positive charge is balanced by your sulfate ion, but your coordination sphere is carrying a positive charge, so this complex will be classified as cationic sphere complexes. Moving on to the next type, that is anionic sphere complexes. Now these complexes, they have negatively charged coordination sphere. For example, tetracyanonickel, that is NiCN4 with carrying a 2 negative charge. So this coordination sphere is carrying a negative charge. So this is complexes, anionic sphere complexes. Next example is potassium ferricyanide, that is K3FeCN6. Now here potassium is ionizable group, that it is counter ion and it is written outside the square bracket, that is outside the coordination sphere. So your coordination sphere is carrying a negative charge, 3 minus charge it is carrying, so it is anionic. The complex as a whole is neutral because the 3 negative charge is balanced by your 3 ions of potassium, but your coordination sphere is carrying a negative charge, so this complex is classified as anionic sphere complexes. The last one is the neutral sphere complexes. Now these complexes, they do not have either cationic or anionic sphere, that is the coordination sphere do not carry a positive charge or a negative charge. So such type of complexes fall under the category of neutral sphere complexes. Example is platinum NH3 twice Cl2. So here the coordination sphere is not carrying any charge, so that's why it is called as neutral sphere complexes. That's all for this lecture. Thank you.